The shuttle carrier aircraft, SCA, are two extensively modified Boeing 747 airliners that NASA used to transport space shuttle orbiters. One is a 747-100 model, while the other is a short-range 747-100 SR. The SCAs were used to ferry space shuttles from landing sites back to the shuttle landing facility at the Kennedy Space Center. The orbiters were placed on top of the SCAs by mate-demate devices, large gantry-like structures, that hoisted the orbiters off the ground for post-flight servicing, then mated them with the SCAs for ferry flights. In approach and landing test flights conducted in 1977, the test shuttle Enterprise was released from an SCA during flight, and glided to a landing under its own control. The Lockheed C-5 Galaxy was considered for the shuttle carrier role by NASA, but rejected in favor of the 747. This was due to the 747's low wing design in comparison to the C-5's high wing design, and also because the U.S. Air Force would have retained ownership of the C-5, while NASA could own the 747s outright. The first aircraft, a Boeing 747-123 registered N905NA, was originally manufactured for American Airlines. With a decline in air traffic and failure to fill their 747s, American Airlines sold it to NASA. Upon testing, it still wore the visible American cheat lines, while testing Enterprise in the 1970s. It was acquired in 1974, and initially used for trailing wake vortex research as part of a broader study by NASA Dryden, as well as shuttle tests involving an F-104 flying in close formation, and simulating a release from the 747. The aircraft was extensively modified for NASA by Boeing in 1976. While first-class seats were kept for NASA passengers, its main cabin and insulation were stripped, and the fuselage was strengthened. Mounting struts were added on top of the 747s above various landmarks across California, from Sacramento to the San Francisco Bay Area, and finally to Los Angeles. Endeavour was delivered to Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. From there the orbiter was transported through the streets of Los Angeles and Inglewood to its final destination in the California Science Center and Exposition Park. Shuttle carrier N911NA was retired on February 8, 2012, after its final mission to the Dryden Flight Research Facility at Edwards Air Force Base in Palmdale, California, and was used as a source of parts for NASA's Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, SOFIA, aircraft. Another modified Boeing 747. N911NA is now preserved and on display at the Joe Davies Heritage Air Park in Palmdale, California, as part of a long-term loan to the city from NASA. Shuttle carrier N905NA was used to ferry the retired space shuttles to their respective museums. After delivering Endeavour to the Los Angeles International Airport in September 2012, the aircraft was flown to the Dryden Flight Research Facility, where NASA intended it to join N911NA as a source of spare parts for NASA's SOFIA aircraft. But when NASA engineers surveyed N905NA, they determined that it had few parts usable for SOFIA. In 2013, a decision was made to preserve N905NA and display it at Space Center Houston, with the mock-up shuttle Independence mounted on its back. N905NA was flown to Ellington Field, where it was carefully dismantled, ferried to the Johnson Space Center in 7 major pieces, a process called the Big Move, reassembled, and finally mated with the replica shuttle in August 2014. The display, called Independence Plaza, opened to the public for the first time on January 23, 2016.